What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time here on RotoGrinders. I am Britt Devine with the prop man himself, a.k.a. the new tennis expert over on a couple of the prop sites, Mr. Chief Justice. Will, what is going on, dude? That Bills game, the Bills game did not go the way I thought it would. I was big on the Bills at the minus 13. I was big on laddering them up. That did not work. I need Daniel Jones to have over 205.5 yards to have myself to recover from that. But we got NBA, lots to talk about here. There's a lot of injury news that I don't think we're going to have for this show. So we're going to either have to extrapolate or ignore it, I think, for a large majority of the discussion here.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing is, let me cover tennis. I am not the expert. That would be Randor, Randicat, and Watch Out, and I bet those guys. Those are the tennis experts. I'm following their lead. So yeah, there you have it. But I'm with you, Britt. It's a lot of interesting news here that's important, and I think, based on where we are right now, I think we just roll the dice and go from there. So there you have it. I think that's what we're gonna have to do because these 9 o'clock games, we got a game starting at 6. We're not getting that news right now. That's basically what we're saying.
Yeah, let's talk about, so the lay of the landscape is, first we have the Brooklyn game that's tipping off at 6 o'clock. And that's the known value we have, guys. Like Kyrie is a must play tonight. You got Warren, O'Neal, Seth Curry, Joe Harris, right? Nick Claxton. Take your pick. All these guys are in pretty good spots because there's no Kevin Durant. And that's the known value. That's the first game. What we don't have is the Dallas and Portland news, right? So I'm just going to bring this up over to Dallas on Lineup HQ. Steve, if you want to throw this up here for everybody. We've got Luka, who has missed, I think, his last 4 back-to-backs. I know our projections team has him in. If he's missed 4 straight back-to-backs, I think that's a trend. I basically am pretending he's not playing. So as you can see, I have Spencer Dinwiddie locked in. I think Dinwiddie is almost a must-play. Christian Wood, I probably don't think he's going to play. He's a little, he's pretty questionable. He's missed a couple of games in a row.
He rolled an ankle in the Lakers game badly.
Yeah, I don't think he's probably going to make it. I think we can extrapolate at least on this one. Pretending Luka's out is always a little, I don't know. I just think they're both not going to play. What are we doing here? Guys like Dinwiddie, he's going to, if this game's competitive, he's going to play 38, 40 minutes.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is already out, which is
Hardaway's
even more important.
Bullock is going to play. I mean, we never want to play Reggie Bullock, but he's going to be thrust into like the highest shooting player on the team. Hardy's going to get some extra run. Powell, Bertans, these guys are going to play big minutes. How would you play this, extrapolating it currently right now? Because this is a 9 o'clock game. I don't think we're going to get this news. So
let me just say this. I think you can play Spencer Dinwiddie regardless.
Yeah.
Because it's no Tim Hardaway Jr. We know, DFS has been out. Christian Wood may not play. Like, even if Luka plays, Spencer Dinwiddie is still a good play. Mm-hmm. So I think no matter what, let's just say I think you need to be playing Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, I think that's a fair assessment across the board.
There's 7.5 point underdogs. Vegas is telling you right there that Luka's not going to play.
Yeah. But if for some reason he does, Brett, once again, I still think Spencer Dinwiddie is someone you get into your lineups. Now, I guess the other weird thing here is they're playing Portland, who's about at full strength here. I think Dallas should be able to hang with the guys that they have. Like Spencer Dinwiddie's gonna be the new Luka. Reggie Bullock will be the new Dorian Finney-Smith / Tim Hardaway Jr. Dwight Powell will pick up these odd wing minutes. Odd big minutes. And now it's just how do they use Bertans? How do they use Hardy? Does Frank Ntilikina play a little bit? You know what I mean? Like these are the things that I think we see. But Dinwiddie, Bullock, they're getting the minutes for sure.
Yeah, so I like both of those guys. And then the other news is Philadelphia. Oh, I also want to mention Ben Simmons got a late questionable tag, so I'm not even sure if he plays for Brooklyn in that game, which would make all the other value plays even better. We have Philadelphia with Tobias Harris. He missed the last game, and then they added James Harden to the injury report tonight. They're 3-point favorites against the Lakers. What do we think it happens here? Harris may be out. Harden may be in. I don't really know. I don't know how to play this. This is the last game of the slate. we're definitely not going to get this by 6 o'clock.
Yeah, don't think we get it. So here's how I think we play the Philly situation, right? And hear me out here. I think what you do is you just play Joel Embiid in your util spot, and you make sure you have Dinwiddie, right? And you have those guys. Let's say Luka plays as an example. Now you've got some outs because both of these games are around the same time. And if you feel like Luka's got the upside, you could take out. Once again, I still think you should be playing Dinwiddie for what it's worth. But you could have an Embiid Dinwiddie combination, and then you could still get to like a Luka, DeAnthony Melton, something like that. You get what I'm saying? If Harden's out and Luka's in, if they're both out, then you're fine with Embiid, Spencer Dinwiddie, no matter what. Do you get what I'm saying? Like either way, Joel Embiid's a good play, and so I think you can just plug in Embiid and Spencer Dinwiddie and let it ride.
All right, so real quick, some cash games. That's what I have locked up on my screen right now on FanDuel for the people. I'm looking at Dinwiddie, Irving, TJ Warren, and Royce O'Neal as guys I think you almost have to play. At the point guard position, you're probably mixing in. You can use Irving at either point guard or shooting guard, but I sort of like playing I'm definitely playing Dinwiddie. You can play both of them at point guard, but if you want to play actual point guards, you can get to a De'Aaron Fox, a Maxey. You can get those guys in here on FanDuel. I think that looks pretty good, especially if you're going to lock in Dinwiddie like I am. I think those are two plays. I mean, Maxey, if Harden sits, is going to be really playing. He's in a great spot anyway. I have no problem playing him. And then Fox is just sort of in this really nice price range against San Antonio, and he's been playing really good, so I have no problem throwing him in there. I've got some of these guys in here. Another guy you're going to hear about quite a bit is going to be Keldon Johnson. With everybody, well, not everybody out, but without Vassell for San Antonio, he's going to see a nice uptick. Can be a little bit up and down, but it is, I think he's got a really nice game if you're looking at someone at the power forward position. Center is interesting. You're sort of debating. Of course, I'd like to get Embiid or Jokic, but if you play Kyrie and Dinwiddie, and maybe you max out a point guard, and I don't know if I love Seth Curry on FanDuel. He's much more in play on DraftKings, which we'll talk about in just a second. You're sort of in this mid-tier of, if you can get to Claxton, I think he's probably the preferred option. I think with everybody out in that game, I think he, at least with Durant out, and I don't even know about Simmons. I think he's in store for a pretty good game. Ben Simmons did just get ruled out, by the way. So Claxton, if you can get to him, would probably be my preferred option. Should be doing a little bit more on the boards. Not that Ben Simmons does a lot of scoring, but there's going to be more for him to do too. And Kyrie Irving, O'Neal, all these guys, all the Brooklyn value just got even better. Chief, real quick, with Simmons ruled out.
Good play tonight as well.
Yeah, I love TJ Warren. He's certainly on there. With Simmons out, does that elevate anyone new into the mix for Brooklyn? Or is it, you got Joe Harris and Curry more so on DraftKings, I think, are in play, not as much on FanDuel, because unless you want to play Embiid or Jokic and just totally punt the point guard position, how do you think about those guys on FanDuel?
I think Harris is in play. Like, honestly, I think all these Brooklyn guys, even though Royce O'Neal's at 5,600, what you're getting from him is like weird upside because of all the peripherals. Like he's going to
I got the Nets lineup, so it's going to be Sumner, Irving, Harris, O'Neal, and Claxton. So let's talk about Sumner. Do you have any interest in him in the starting lineup?
I mean, it feels like I should have some interest, right? But I think you get him in. Let me say that the reason why he's 3,600, he's probably going to get some shots up. I don't want to overexpose. I don't want to overexpose myself. Like the game's coming up in 20 minutes. If we see that his ownership is maybe going to creep up, I'd maybe wait for an update. If we think he's going to be 20%, I just take the fade. Like I
just made a 2-for-2 swap. So I was playing Fox and Jacob Poeltl on FanDuel, and I just went to Sumner and Jokic without question on that.
Okay, yeah.
So
you can do that.
So I went to that in my personal lineup. So if you're looking at something like that, Sumner 3,600 on Fanduel, I think it's certainly viable in all formats, and I think he's the absolute minimum on DraftKings. DraftKings, you're going to run into a problem today. Spending you just got all these Brooklyn guys. It's like, where do you spend your salary? It's going to be on Jokic, Embiid, and Kyrie Irving is where it's all going to go. So everyone's going to be holding hands over there. Let's jump over to DraftKings really quick. Do you have any different takes on DraftKings? Let's try to break down. Would you rather play Sumner at 3,000, Seth Curry at 3,600, Joe Harris at 3,700? Rank those three.
Oh man.
Sumner starting. Sumner or Seth Curry?
I think Seth. I trust Seth more for his offensive output.
And then we got Joe
honestly,
Harris.
The answer for me is TJ Warren straight up though. Like at 42,
yeah, I'm definitely on.
I think I'd play Warren over any of those guys.
Yeah, so I like that call quite a bit. I'm just trying to finagle a couple of my lineups here. Let's see. I guess I'll just throw this in as a little shell so I have something. So you've got Dinwiddie, Curry. You can play Sumner too over there. Kyrie Irving, TJ Warren. You like all these guys. You've got Claxton. Take your pick of 4 or 5 of the Brooklyn guys, at least from a cash game perspective on DraftKings. I don't think you can really go wrong with basically any of them. I think they're all in just like fantastic spots tonight. So just take your pick, get 5 or 4, at least 4, if not 5, into your DraftKings lineup. The guys you're going to be surrounding them with are going to be the known quantities, right? You're going to be using all the value. You're going to take, you got Jokic or Embiid straight up tonight. If you got to pick right now, who's your guy?
I think I'm taking Embiid with the possibility of Harden being out.
Yeah, you can. So what I've done is I'm just sitting on Jokic, but that's a 9:00 game. I'll put a little reminder in my phone or have the alerts on when injury news comes up, and then see if I have anything to swap to, because you're just so locked into your spots once you put in 4 or 5 of these Brooklyn guys. Along with Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie I'm also playing. So I'm just very limited in what I can do. So it's basically going to come down to Jokic or Embiid. I've got till 9:00. I would assume by 9:00 we'll have that news, or 8:00. I'm hoping by 8:00. If we don't have it by 8:00, I'm going to play Jokic. And if I do have it, if Harden's out, if Tobias Harris is out, I might switch to Joel Embiid. So that's basically how I'm sitting pretty in that particular spot. I think we're going to have a lot of the same lineups in cash. So cash game's pretty easy. Chief, I'm going to throw it to you from a tournament perspective here. And when we get all this value, specifically in the first game, people are trying to put all these guys in their lineups. Let's talk through Brooklyn. Who are, of all the guys, most likely to succeed? Of all the guys people are going to play, who's least likely to succeed? Who's like someone you might play that's going to be the lowest? All these guys are going to carry a lot of ownership. Let's really try to break down Brooklyn. It's the first game of the night. People are making tournament teams. Let's try to hash it out.
I think you start with Kyrie. I think you plug in TJ Warren, and then from there, it's a round robin of Harris, O'Neal, Seth Curry, Sumner. Like that would be my read on it.
Mm-hmm. So Irving, Warren are your 2 favorites. I think Royce O'Neal is going to, like, if this game is competitive, O'Neal, Kyrie, these guys, Claxton's minutes are going to bump up into the mid-30s.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Yep.
Irving, Claxton, TJ Warren. That would be like my pillars. And then rotate Harris, O'Neal, Seth Curry around those guys. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Claxton's minutes, when the projection team gets to it, it's at 31. I would expect those to bump up a little bit in a competitive game. He just could be going nuts on the boards. Kyrie should be doing everything. I worry a little bit about the Nets because they were really horrible without Durant last season, and the team's a little bit better without him this year. But even again, OKC can be feisty. I don't think Brooklyn should really be. They're 5-point favorites. I'm sure it's probably shrunk a little bit from the last time I refresh the screen, but this is by no means like a slam dunk win for Brooklyn and OKC.
No, not at all. Not at all. We've seen OKC push really good teams like Brooklyn to the brink.
I mean, they just dominated Boston one night out of the blue. Yeah,
so just random.
I just want to see if anything's been updated. No, we're still waiting on an update. If anything comes in, I'll talk about that. Who's of the Brooklyn guys people are going to be playing? Who's the most likely to fail from a tournament winning upside? I know that like Sumner on DraftKings is 3K.
Yuta Watanabe.
I mean, he's the only guy nobody's really playing. He's the only one.
Which means he's going to go nuts tonight.
Yeah. I don't know if I could pull the trigger on that one. But of all the known quantities, all these guys are going to be, there's so many of them, 30, 40% owned on both sites, if not higher in tournaments. Which one is most likely for a salary? Because you're going to need huge scores, I think, tonight with how many of these Brooklyn guys are value. Some combination of 3 or 4 of them are very likely to come through with big scores. Which ones are least likely to have that big game?
I would say one of these weird 3K guys, Harris, Curry, or Sumner, which is why I just kind of want to rotate them in around the other guys because I don't know which one is going to fail.
So maybe
which one's going to score 15 to 20 real points.
So maybe in a tournament setting, maybe only play 2 of the 3, 1 of the 3, something like that, hoping you catch the right guy, and that's the one that doesn't have the big game tonight. I think that's pretty interesting because these guys are just going to have all massive ownership. So that is pretty interesting. Curry, Sumner, and Joe Harris. From a tournament perspective, I would agree with Chief. Maybe not play all 3 of those in the same lineup. I think if you were looking at it from a cash game, you certainly could because the floors and price are so good. It allows you to get the Kyries. It allows you to get the Jokic. It allows you to get the guys you want to spend on. But from a tournament perspective, even at a value, it's unlikely all 3 of them have gigantic games. They might all be flames on DraftKings, but might not get you there in the end, just with how much actual value is out there. If anyone sees any extra news, could you please let me know in the RotoGrinders Discord? I want to ask from a tournament perspective, Chief, also with everyone playing Brooklyn guys and locking in 4 or 5 spots on every team. What games swerve? What are we doing? How are we getting different tonight? Because we're all holding hands with those guys. We're all going to play Jokic or Embiid. So how are we doing something different?
Well, you know me, man. Anytime I can get action in a Sacramento game, I'm interested. And I just think, maybe people ended up avoiding that game a little bit. The Spurs aren't playing any defense, so I think the Sacramento / Spurs game is fantastic to get some exposure.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Fox Sabonis is a guy like I was debating playing him, and you could certainly make it work, but everyone's just going to go to Jokic or Embiid for sure. So Sabonis is going to be the odd man out, and he is he going to top those guys? I don't know, maybe not, but he certainly could, especially if Philadelphia turns into a blowout. Denver could easily blow out Orlando, right? So I think that's a pretty interesting spot. And you got Herter back in there; he's interesting. Maybe not so much. But Fox and Sabonis, I could certainly get behind it at reasonably low ownership. I'm going to start taking some questions. If you have any from Discord, please get to them in the NBA crunch time. Good call on Smart yesterday. Thank you. I love Marcus Smart. Got the double-double. I hit the 13. His line was 13.5 points, Chief. I got hooked on that one, but at least I got the double-double to make up for it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's see here. I'm going to YouTube. Any premium members, please get your questions in on Discord. I have that up on my screen right now. Let's see here. Fade Luka. Yes, I'm expecting Luka to not play. Any interest in none for value tonight? Pardon the pun, but I have none value in Kendrick Nunn tonight, Chief. It's just this is not the slate. All your values in that first game, lock in that. There's no reason to play Kendrick Nunn tonight.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Avoid Kendrick Nunn.
All right. Some people are thanking me for the double-double. Yes, you're welcome on that one. I've been too wrapped up in football today. I literally have no NBA props or spreads or anything like that. So I don't have any for you. What I would say, if Spencer Dinwiddie, if Luka's out, take the Dinwiddie assist line. If it's 6.5 or 7.5, you can take the over on that very easily. That's the one I'll be looking at, but that's literally all I've had time for today to look for from the NBA prop perspective. I don't really see any questions. You guys keep putting those in there. What if we're playing Jokic, so we covered the Sacramento game. If you like Fox and Sabonis, I think those are the guys we're both on. Would you run it back with anyone in the Spurs side? I know the popular guy is going to be Keldon Johnson, but could a Pirtle, a Trey Jones? I know Josh Richardson is a reasonable value. Are these guys, Jeremy Sokan is 4,300, right? It's like a swerve off of, you wouldn't swerve off any of the Nets value for these guys?
I mean, I think they're comparable considering the situation. I like Keldon today. I talked about this game in general. I think it's more so, do we play like Trey Jones, Keldon, Pirtle, Jakob, and somebody from the other side of this game, like Sabonis or Fox, and get very different. I don't think Fox is a better play than Kyrie, so maybe I'd play Fox. You get what I'm saying? But maybe I avoid some of the other Brooklyn guys and get some of these guys. So that's kind of my read on this game in a nutshell.
They did just, someone in YouTube want to know, did they push the update? It looks like it just came through. So I'm sort of trying to figure out what team I'm going to play on FanDuel and DraftKings right now. Sumner has hit the optimals. I think that is a fine call. I like him on both sites tonight for sure. And I'm going in on Dinwiddie. I'm expecting Luka to sit and Christian Wood probably to also sit. So I'm playing Dinwiddie. I know the projections team still has Luka in. I would probably take him out personally, but we'll have to see what happens on that. And I'm just playing Dinwiddie. That is a 9:00 game. I might be, if Luka does play, I might have to bail off of him. I don't think he's the worst play if Luka does play, but that is currently how I'm handling everything. All right, let's see. Any more questions? Going to the YouTube. Let's see here. Nothing else new. Orlando, Denver. We didn't really talk about this game outside of Jokic. Everyone on Orlando is basically priced appropriately. Denver, we've got Michael Porter on DraftKings, I think is cheap enough to consider, but it's like on a night like tonight, I don't know if that's how you actually want to play. Is anyone in this game really interesting to you outside of Jokic? I know Jokic is percent owned on FanDuel is low currently. I would expect it to probably bump up. You've got enough value if you want to play him. Anything else on Denver interest you?
I think Michael Porter Jr. is a little bit too cheap on DK at 5,400. I think he should probably be a little bit more expensive than that. Outside of that, I don't feel like anything else is too crazy in that game.
We're waiting on Dallas. What about Portland? I know Dame's been going ballistic. Dame is going to have, he'll draw some ownership. It's going to be, I think it's probably going to be a little lower than what we currently have here.
Mm-hmm.
He's going bananas right now. He looks like a really nice tournament swerve tonight.
Yeah, for sure. 9,500 on DK, definitely a spot you can attack there. If Luka is out, it's probably going to get even worse. So I like the call. Love the call.
And then the Lakers, it's basically LeBron. Westbrook off the bench isn't the worst thing in the world. Thomas Bryant, you can make that work too. I do like LeBron. LeBron is also another, to get LeBron at 10% ownership when both, Jokic, that game could blow out and, Jokic is going to have the big game if it blows out, but he might play 28 minutes. To get LeBron in this game is pretty interesting at low ownership if you were looking for another swerve. It's the late game. Just put him in now. Your lineup's going to be much different than everyone playing in Embiid and Jokic and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Which Embiid isn't getting crazy ownership. At least at the last update, the update I have, LeBron was getting slightly more ownership than Embiid, which is interesting.
We've got Kevin in YouTube. I don't know, DraftKings must plays. So the guys I'm must playing for sure are Sumner, TJ Warren, Kyrie Irving, probably Dinwiddie. I really like Dinwiddie. You're going to want to have 4, if not 5 Nets players on pretty much every team you make, unless you're really trying to be contrarian in a tournament. And then you just mix and match a couple of the stars and maybe one mid-tier piece. And that's what I think most lineups are going to end up looking like tonight. So your Nets players, it's the first game of the night. You know what we're getting. We don't have the news for the late games. I'm considering Spencer Dinwiddie a must play. The projections currently have Luka in. I'm expecting Luka to sit. So that's my personal take on it. Still don't see any questions in crunch time. Anything else for basketball you want to talk about, Chief? Did you get any props in today? I've just been too busy. Anything you're on for
Oh, no,
baseball?
I'm not. I haven't even looked at NBA for props, and I don't care. Hey, football and tennis is all I'm concerned about. That's it.
Dota, whatever else they throw up there.
Well, I got that in early. Like I don't even care about that anymore. It's everything's kicked off now. NFL and tennis. Got to get the NFL and tennis.
If you guys want to click the like button on YouTube, we would greatly appreciate it. I think we've covered just about everything I think we can get our hands on this slate here. Again, we're waiting on Luka news. We're waiting on James Harden and Tobias Harris news in the Philadelphia game. We're not going to get those. You can try to set yourself up for late swap, but with everybody playing all of the Brooklyn guys like you should be in this early game, you're really locking yourself into having not really many late swap options. If you wanted to try to take advantage of that from a tournament perspective, maybe forego. I could see foregoing a Kyrie Irving in an attempt to try to have some salary to finagle a little bit later in the night. But like the Brooklyn value pieces, I'm definitely going to play those guys, Chief.
Nah, I get it for sure. I mean, because later on, you still got – so, okay, let's say you forego Kyrie even for this first hour and we get some news. Well, you can play De'Aaron Fox in this spot against the Spurs. You can play Dame at 9,500. And if Kyrie doesn't go slap off, like these guys are probably going to match or exceed him. Kyrie's going to have a good game. So, I don't hate that call at all. But you got to make a decision quick on your Brooklyn value because it's starting in 3 minutes. So that's where you've got to decide. So if you want to fade Kyrie, I don't hate it. I like it tonight against OKC at home. I do think Kyrie's a better than Dame and these guys straight up, but I get it.
What do we got for football? Let's talk. They're going to have if you guys are playing the showdown a little bit later, there's going to be a showdown show a half hour before that game starts. What do you like in the Cincinnati-Baltimore game? I got a lot of my teasers, a lot of the things were sort of ruined by the Bills. I definitely like the Bengals for sure tonight. I like Jamar Chase's.
His yardage prop came down almost 10 yards, I think.
It was at 70. It was at 70 at one point. It's juiced back up a little bit to like the mid 70s, but I think Jamar Chase over on his receiving prop is probably pretty good if you can get around 74, 75, something like that. What else you like in that game? The Baltimore side's a mess. You could probably what's J.K. Dobbins?
I do like Cincinnati punts for what it's worth on Prize Picks.
That's on Prize Picks. I'm trying to see what's Dobbins. Dobbins is at 61.5, and they're no doubt going to run him as much as they can to start this game. What do you think about him? I mean, he's gone his last games he's played, Chief, 93, 59, 128, 120 on like 14, 15, 17 touches. They're definitely going to get him the ball. I have no problem taking the over on Dobbins on this one. 60.5, 61.5. I'm going to put that one in right now. How does that sound?
Put it in there. Put it in there.
All right, Chief. Let's see here. Bills look like doo-doo. Yeah, I do agree. The Bills really let me down on a lot of plays. Crossover King wanted to know, do you like Maxey as a pivot off of Dinwiddie if Harden is out? Absolutely. I think that's fine. I'm playing both personally. I think Maxey. I'm playing Maxey. I don't know if Harden's going to sit. Maxey's already in a good enough spot, and if Harden's out, he's going to go nuclear.
Agreed.
I'm just trying to get I always got too many things, too many props, too many sports bets, too much DFS, Chief. It looks like we've hit lock for basketball. I just want to see what DraftKings. So I'm playing just cash on DraftKings. Let's see here. I don't know if ownership's going to be up yet. It's got to be sky high on these guys. So surprisingly, Sumner only hit 16% ownership on DraftKings, and a big $5 double up. At least that's the one I got pulled up. I don't have the 25 in front of me. You think that's right? The rest of these guys, Harris, Warren, Claxton, Kyrie Irving, they're all sort of where we would expect. But Sumner looked like he fell a little low. What do you think of Sumner being that low owned? Was that just because of the late news?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, that broke, fairly late, considering. So yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
Right, and I did just put in you're looking at J.K. Dobbins over 60.5. FanDuel's line was 61.5, but I got a 60.5 line. Oh, sorry, FanDuel. FanDuel, I do want to note it's not too late. They have a great promotion for same game parlays. If it's within your wheelhouse, if you have the ability to bet $200 on same game parlays. They have a great promo where if you do and you meet all the criteria, look at it. It's a nationwide promo. You can get $100 in free bets if you bet 200 in same game. So what I did is over the course of games, I made 4 same game parlays, and my Giants one's looking really nice right now. I think that one's going to hit. Just spread it out, $50, $25, make like 5 or 6 of them, all at like, plus 400, plus 500 odds to hit their limit. If you hit one of those, you're already in the money. And then when you get that $100 free bet, you go for it, Chief, on like a plus 1,000, plus a 2,000. Try to turn that free bet because you already rolled that, right? If you hit one of the same game parlays. And then if you don't hit, right, just use your $100 free bet as a normal bet. That's how I take it. It's a great promo on FanDuel. If you have smaller amounts of money, like even if you bet, I think it's like $20 or $50, you can get a smaller credit. But to bet 200 and getting a $100 free bet back, I think is a really great promotion from our sponsor on FanDuel. If it's in your wheelhouse, that's within what you would normally bet, go ahead and take a shot on that. I know I did. I don't really play the same game parlays too much, Chief. I do them on the prop sites where you don't get the correlation working against you. But when they give you an offer like that, go ahead and get it. And I will note, too, the FanDuel Boost, if you have access to their sports book, for the Cincinnati game, it's like a Joe Burrow for 225. I can bring it up, and the Bengals win. That is a very, very, very plus EV. Yeah, Joe Burrow to have 225 passing yards and the Bengals to win. That's plus 120. That is a very, very, very plus EV bet. So if you're looking for boosts, I think they limit you to 50 or 100 or something like that. Go get that on our sponsor FanDuel as a boost. You're not going to see many more plus EV boosts than that one that they offer you. All right, I think we're going to get out of here on I don't see any more questions. No Discord, nothing on YouTube. Get those bets in, guys. Enjoy your NBA DFS. Enjoy your football tonight. Go Giants. Go Daniel Jones over 205.5 yards, Chief. I know we're all on that one. Go game stack. I think Kirk Cousins needs to start pulling some more weight along with Justin Jefferson.
He should pick up a few more passing yards as they close out this half. Like, they should be trying to get a field goal here. So I think they're going to pass the ball to try to get a few points.
Oh, I think they just got a touchdown here anyway. So
the Giants?
Vikings just got a touchdown.
No, they did. But I'm saying the Giants are going to get the ball before the half ends. So we should get a few more passing yards from Daniel Jones because they're probably going to try to get a field goal before they close it out.
Let's go. I can't believe the Giants. They've been so efficient. They haven't had to run too many plays. So the play count isn't really high there. I need some Richie James, some Daniel Jones. Let's get going, Giants. We got to hit one of these.
If we can get one or two Richie James catches on this drive as they try to get a field goal, there's 45 seconds left. I will feel much better about Richie James. Yeah. Just in general. If he doesn't get any catches on this drive, Britt, I'm going to be feeling real bad.
All right, we're going to get out of here, Chief. Thanks for doing this again. We're going to play NFL Showdown. There's a show coming up at 7:45 for that. Make sure to tune back for that.
Me and Britt are on that one as well. I'm just kidding.
Oh, am I on that one? I didn't know I was on that one. Am I?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I've been on. This is the end. I think on. Yes, that's not me. That's Cards and Andre are going to be on for that one if the schedule is right. So I've done 5 shows in about 30 hours, Chief. I'll do another one.
Yes,
why not? I don't know.
Same here.
I don't know.
I've already had one today.
I
had one at 4 o'clock as well today.
Yeah. Anyway, guys,
listen,
good luck.
I'm doing shows. I love this company, man. I don't mind doing shows at all.
There's this one show. It's on Tuesdays. We talk on props a lot. That's my favorite show, Chief.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Britt. He's Chief. Good luck. Click the like button on your way out, and we out you.